Paymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Paymon Lata Heyday. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. Hello, my friends. In this presentation, I will show you why IRS is admitting that the vast majority of the letters that they send out to you to scare you, they're simply dumb computer-generated letters that basically you can ignore. Okay? Because there's nobody at the IRS. They're sending a letter to you, watching you, waiting for you to respond, and if you don't respond, they'll say, aha! I'm going to come after this guy because he ignored our letters. My name is Paymon Motahede. I am the president of Freedom Law School since 1996, and this is right now August 4, 2026. You're going to be very excited to hear the empowering truth. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, if you have not been there, to free yourself of IRS deception, which leads to fear. With that fear created based upon deceiving you, they get to rob and enslave you. All that will go away once you seek the truth, and the truth shall set you free from the IRS right here in this presentation and on our website, freedomlawschool.org. Let's look at some of these typical dumb computer-generated IRS form letters that are sent out by hundreds of thousands at a time, maybe even more. Computer spits it out. There it goes. Junk mail, junk mail, junk mail, right? Here we go. Here's one of them. You know, it claims on the top left to be a time-sensitive information. Open immediately. Are you afraid? If you don't open immediately, you might be in trouble because it comes from this vulture on the top left that's above the letters IRS. This is from Austin, Texas IRS office, and it's IRS on the top right. IRS notice CP59, you see on the top right. Dated July 6, 2026, right? You need to file and pay your 2024 1040 tax form. What you need to do, okay? Well, you know, if you're required to file, if you're not required to file. If we don't hear from you, they say, what happens? You know, you may lose your refund. Get your money. File a 1040 confession tax form to get your refund. We may determine your tax for you. You don't want that because we know. And then you may be subject to backup withholding, fear tactic letters they use. Look at these letters again. You'll see several of them. None of them have a name of an agent on there. No signature. It's simply a dumb computer-generated form letter you can ignore. Here's another one you see right now. Again from Austin, Texas on the top right. IRS notice CP518 is highlighted, right? Again, they say it's time-sensitive information. Open immediately to scare you, okay? Again from the IRS office. That from the Austin, Texas office. And here, what does it say? You must file your 2024 tax return. Otherwise, you may be in trouble. If we don't hear from you, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. See, again, this letter has no name on it whatsoever. There's nobody watching. Here's another one. IRS notice, you see on the top right? Notice CP2566. This one is from IRS's Holtsville, New York office. And this was dated July 13, 2026. You still haven't filed your 2024 tax return. Why am I giving you all these letters to see? Because IRS is desperate. Because the American people are getting out. The slaves are getting out. They are no longer filing 1040 income tax confession form, putting the rope around their necks. So look at this one. They put even some numbers on this one, but they don't mean anything, these guys. Even though they have some numbers on there, they don't mean anything, okay? These are all computer-generated. There's no agent watching this person's response or lack of response whatsoever in his 5-page letter, okay? Here's another one. No, now this is an important one. Notice of intent and notice of right to hearing. This one you should respond to. Even though this is computer generated, this is one that you do need to respond to. So all of them are not the same. This one you should ask for hearing for this collection due process hearing letters that says your right to hearing. When you see a language, you have to challenge it within 30 days by certified mail. Request for collection due process hearing in a form attached. Okay, and this is another one of these dumb computer generated letters. Letter 2800C. This is what's called a lock-in letter. Okay, they send employees, copies an employer to maximize stealing or withholding from your paycheck by the employer. They scare the poor employer to rape you. This is letter 2801C. Okay, this is again. So these are the the letter to the employee again. It's another lock-in letter type. Now here it is, IRM. You know what IRM is? Internal Revenue Manual, right? We got Internal Revenue Code. That's the Bible of the IRS. We got the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, that's supposed to enforce these 10,000 pages of gobbledygook nonsense, right? And then we got here the Internal Revenue Manuals. This is the manuals IRS publishes for their employees to follow about every little aspect of the organization, from information technology to examining process, collection process, you name it, it's all in here, spelled out in various different parts and chapters. Okay, now you go here in the organization, finance and management, okay, part, we go further deep into it, and we go here to part 1, chapter 17, section 8, internal and public use non-tax products, they call it. We get more detailed in there. Boom, this is the part that tells you it's 1.17.8.5.2.1 revised 2020. Okay, so they say MNP publishes form letters, survey letters, correspondence letters. Form letters follow MNP design standards to design these letters you get. Correspondence letters are computer generated from the integrated data retrieval system, IRS, and suffix C identifies these letters. Here's another one. Okay, here they have it in part 20.1.3.1.5 revised 2018, and here is terms and definitions and acronyms. So here we go. Look at what CP is. Computer paragraph. There's nobody watching you. Remember, guys, okay, I'm going to show you there's a lot more of us than them. Okay? A lot more of us than them.
You're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
You saw that? Yeah. You saw how much we outnumbered them? Way too many of us, and too few of them, we bury them. That's right. We all got to stop supporting the Epstein billionaire gang that's running this country. Okay? Are you sick and tired of your hard-earned money going to all the Epstein gang billionaires, the pedophiles, okay, the torturers that done this stuff, and they get away with it because they are friends of Donald Trump, the friends of congressmen out there, especially the corrupt leaders? Do they lead you? You want to divorce these crooks and criminals? Well, you can. Just got to realize that you have a lot more power than you were told. You see, Restore Freedom on our website says, regain your power and your freedom. Stop voluntarily paying the Washington, D.C. swamp legally and safely. Guaranteed. Why? Because no law requires 99% of Americans to file pay income or payroll taxes. If I'm wrong, collect the $50,000 reward I have right here, folks. I mail this to you, no charge. Okay, so let's get to a little bit more, okay, about this issue. Okay, let's look at this. The fact is, the number of non-files is overwhelming. The people don't file was 63 million back in 1996. Okay, this is a letter that confirms that from the IRS itself. Back in 1998, they said that. Now, 30 years later, it's about 80 million. Here it goes. What does it say, this letter that's very eye-opening? It says in plain English, based on our 1996 tax filing program, we estimate, they don't know, they're guessing, estimate there are approximately 63 million taxpayers, million folks, who have not filed a tax return and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file. Yep, and all this information is based upon information available already to the IRS on their individual master file computer system. They can't come after us. There's way too many non-files already. So all you gotta do is realize that the safest way to have the IRS leave you alone is to not file any 1040 income tax confession forms, okay? Why? Because when you sign an IRS Form 1040 income tax slave confession form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. You do it yourself, there it is. When you sign here on the 1040 form, I bet your accountant, your CPA, then tell you, what's that tiny little writing next to sign here? What is this? Can you tell me what that says? Did your CPA accountant tell you what this line means or says? Of course not. Otherwise, you wouldn't sign it. You wouldn't confess under penalties of perjury, which means basically throw me in prison if everything on this form is not true, correct, and complete. And from that, you paid the tax guy to fill out for you. He should go to prison for whatever is on there incorrect. But no, you go to prison, he gets away with the money that he suckered you to give him to put the rope around your neck. That's how the corrupt system is. And you see, you also used to claim that you owe the IRS money on line 37 of the 1040 income tax confession form. There it is. And this is the language of the form: amount you owe. This is the amount you owe. You fill in this blank dollars, that's how much you owe them. I didn't make it up. That's what they. And look, you go to prison for up to 9 years for each year you sign and file a 1040 income tax confession, slavery form, any other form with the IRS. Yeah, well, people say, but pay my employer withholds from my paycheck. I have to file to get some of that money back. No, you don't. You can legally, safely stop your employer from stealing income taxes, so-called, out of your paycheck, because you are never required to have the money taken out of your paycheck to begin with. Here it is. If you go to our website, okay, if you go on the right, okay, on our website, on the menu on the top center right area, go down to Free Yourself from Tax Withholding, click on that page, and this page comes up and shows you exactly how to free yourself from income tax withholding legally, style the withholding of federal income tax from your paycheck. There's a video here. There's written instructions how to do it. Sample form is also there. If you do it online or on paper, it's all there for you to do it very easily, every one of you. And let me remind you, IRS folks is falling apart. If you don't believe me, they're a bunch of incompetent people. We outnumber them 10,000 or more to each incompetent one IRS employee. They're disorganized, lazy on top of that. They don't work hard at all because they don't have to. Because nobody forced them to work hard, right? Who forces government employees to work hard? Nobody. Congress owns them. Congressmen are there just trying to raise money for the next election. They don't care about IRS working hard or not. They don't go supervise them. Hey, you're too slow. Hey, you work faster. No. They have lots of long coffee breaks, right? So here it is. Look at this. IRS is in such a bad shape, they cannot even keep up with 10 for income tax filers who have confessed to owning IRS money. Look at this chart, shows the amount of levies, forced bank account, and paychecks that people have been taken by the IRS. It went down from 2011 from 3.7 million down in 2021 to about 300,000, over 90% drop. By the way, it still is that way. 2025-26, it's about 300,000 still. They are such a terrible shape that to cut how much money they can buy forced by 90%, because most Americans, 2/3 live paycheck to paycheck. The IRS takes your bank account and paycheck. You're out on the street, can't pay your rent next month. So the IRS knows if they levy your bank account, you need to call them on the toll-free number, go visit the local IRS office, call the IRS's taxpayer advocate, call your congressman for help, and that's going to create even a lot more work when they cannot even take your single call to let you make a payment plan. That's right, people call for hours wait on the 800 toll-free number of the IRS just to make a payment plan. Hey, I want to pay you money. Please take my call. Oh, I got to wait for them for hours to answer my phone and take my money. Can you imagine a business that you say you're too busy to take people money? That's how incompetent and lazy and disorganized the IRS is. You don't need to be afraid of these crooks and criminal, incompetent people, okay? So, and I'm going to show you this. By the way, it is impossible for 31 U.S. tax court judges to conduct tax trials for 80 million non-filers each year. That's right. This is the page from the U.S. tax court's website. So you tell me, how would they do that? They can't. It's mathematically impossible. Already tax court is overburdened. Our civil appeals officers are overburdened. We have to wait for a year for our civil officer to respond for our collection due process hearing. A year later. Okay. So when you file a for income tax confession form, you admit you owe the money, there's no challenge. You lost because you signed under oath that you owe the IRS money. When you don't sign a 1040 form, guess what? You owe the IRS nothing. The IRS cannot just automatically take your money. No, it doesn't work that way. They must, by law, send you a tax proposal, mail it to you by certified mail to your last known address, and give you the chance in 90 days to challenge your IRS's tax proposal in the U.S. tax court. And when you do, IRS can take nothing from you until your trial is completely over. It could be 1 year, 5 years, whatever it takes, okay, before they can take your money. In fact, if you go on appeal on top of that, they'll leave you alone again. 5, 10 years, they could leave you alone or more because you protect it, as long as you properly challenge them in the legal process that filers give away. Sorry to say this about filers, literally piss away their rights and their freedoms by signing a 1040 form. You, the non-filer, are free. You didn't confess against yourself. So that's what they cannot come after you non-filers, because there's just way too many of us and not enough of them, okay? So, folks, check out this quote we got in 1969. U.S. Senator Henry Belmont said this about the IRS. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit more, guys. You can see it's a little bit better. Oh, yeah, look at that. Nice and big, okay? In a recent conversation with an official of the IRS, I was amazed when he told me, if the taxpayers of this country ever discover that the IRS operates a 90% bluff, the entire system will collapse. Yes, that was in 1969, in IRS's heyday, where they were feared and much better organized. Now they're falling apart. The condition of the IRS is far worse than it was in 1969. As a result, in 2017, IRS stopped going after non-filers. They started issuing a few letters last year to non-filers, very tiny amount, to scare you, because they realized fear law school is waking you guys up. You're waking up. You're leaving. The sheeple are leaving. The slaves are leaving. So it started to scare you, but those scare letters don't mean nothing. We outnumber them no matter what. Okay? So remember this. At the end, the best way to have the IRS leave you alone is to stop filing 10 for income tax, confession, slavery forms. Okay? Very simple. It's all up to you to free yourself, keep your heart and money. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, and you see that based on the U.S. government's official legal websites, no law requires 99% of Americans to file pay income and payroll taxes. Yep, it's all there. For you to verify, all you got to do is join a tax strike like it's 1776, okay? And you can restore freedom and never again voluntarily, okay? Here we go. Pay the Washington, D.C. swamp legally and safely with a guarantee if you wish. The key is you must seek the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You will not hear this stuff in the corrupt mainstream media, or your accountant, or your CPA, or your tax attorney, or HR Block, or TurboTax. Okay? They benefit from your slavery. So all you gotta do is to go to the gold bar here, click on Start the 7 Easy Steps to regain your power and freedom. And when you do that, you'll be able to free yourself from income tax slavery with these 7 easy steps. Right there. Follow the law is step 1. We always rely on the law, as I told you. 2, okay? Stop filing 10 for income tax forms, which means you got to stop putting the rope around your neck and handing it to the IRS, okay? Step 3, okay? Realize the IRS operates on deception and bluff. That's right. They got you scared. They are the real Wizard of Oz because you've been programmed all your life to be in fear of the IRS, and it's all just lies on propaganda, okay? And then step 4, question authority. Don't have to pay tribute to the beast. Don't have to worship the beast, okay? Question your congressman, have him show the law that requires you allegedly to file income tax before you pay him anything. Take courage from our victories. IRS, again, is not this Godzilla it pretends to be. It's a weak little lizard with no firepower. That's what it really is. All that for free. And if you want to have 100% guarantee, but I'll tell you, 99 plus percent, you don't file income tax, IRS will leave you alone. 99 plus percent. They will not issue you notice deficiency to try to come after you for money. 80 million non-files, remember? So, however, if you want to have a 100% guarantee, you better join hands like America's founding fathers did with the glorious revolution they did. You see, Benjamin Franklin told the founding fathers, gentlemen, we must all hang together or else we shall hang separately. And that's what they did. And they won. We must do the same thing. Let's use the First Amendment of the Constitution so we don't have to go to the Second Amendment. Free speech, press, association, assemble, and petition the government for redress of grievances and take our country back. Here in the Restore Freedom Plan, all you got to do is pitch into this Restore Freedom Plan. Though your money will be used to protect you 100% from the IRS first, with the guarantee that as long as you legally stop filing income taxes and be a member of the Restore Freedom Plan, Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from levying your money or will reimburse you, and you will not go to prison. None of our students have, as long as they came to us clean. Stop filing income tax like you with Freedom Law School first. Stay with Freedom Law School and follow our procedures. That's it. Okay? So you could do that, and this way, we are taking America back. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has called for this, more than one time. In fact, can we play that for them? That Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, the 3-minute thing she did on us? Yeah, folks, this is growing bigger. This movement is picking up legs. Yes. And so more and more people are realizing, why am I in debt? Paying the credit card companies, 20-25% interest rate or higher, and money's going out of my paycheck to pay the Epstein gang, billionaires, and for the war with Iran, over $100 billion already spent on behalf of a little tiny country, Israel over there. Doesn't benefit me. Why don't they just cut my taxes instead? But no, we're going to debt more. $40 trillion we're in debt. on behalf of all the corrupt, money, powerful interests that bought off our Congress and the presidents for a long time. So it's time for you to declare your independence. All of us together join our independence from the corrupt Epstein class billionaires, okay, who are running the system, who are above the law. They place themselves because they own the politicians, right? So let's do it. Go to the website, freedomlawsuit.org. And if you have questions, call us at 813-444-4800. Okay? And somebody will answer your phone and answer you and guide you. Do you have the video ready to go? Play? Don't have it? That's okay. All right. So remember, we're available for you. I love you, and I want you to be free, but I cannot do it for you. You must choose to do it, and by putting on your cell phone our 7 steps to be free of the IRS, the videos, as you drive around to and from work, let it play, watch the road, and listen to the videos. They'll educate you. Lunch at work, dinner at home, play it again. This time, watch it and listen while you eat. You see, wow, this is real. Everything says it's verifiable. Wow. Wow. Gee, this is real. Then you'll be free. All right, you guys, I love you all, and I'll be back with you every week to help you live free. Go to freedomlawschool.org now.